Hi, hello. Dear friends, welcome to my class on the next lecture on atomic structure. That is discussion about Bohr's atomic model in this class. That I am going to discuss is Bohr's atomic model. Bohr's atomic model. As most of you know, that the Bohr's atomic model is one of the most important atomic model in the beginning of this atomic structure we discussed. So many factors like Einstein's photoelectric effect, as well as electromagnetic radiation, and some olden theories, Rutherford theory and Thomson model and all, have given some support to Niels Bohr atomic model development. So in this, Niels Bohr actually given some important postulates which will remove the drawbacks of Rutherford's atomic model. So in that, the first thing you can say is electron actually said to be move around the nucleus. Electron is said to be revolving around the nucleus. That is the most important point. In this area, the location is called as orbit. Electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular path. This orbit is actually said to be a circular path. So that circular path is called as orbit. That is the first important thing we have to learn in this. After that, the energy of this orbit actually decreases as the distance of the orbit from the nucleus increases. Suppose we have written some other one here like this, two lines. Suppose it is 1, it is 2, it is 3. So this is third orbit. In this postulates, what we can understand is nothing but the energy of the orbit increases as the distance of the orbit from the nucleus also increases. So when you consider this is the distance r3, this is the distance we will call it as r2, this is the distance we will call it as r1. So in this, the order of distances is nothing but r3 is greater than r2 is greater than r1. So what we can understand from this is this third orbit is said to be farther from the remaining two. That's why the energy of this orbit, according to this Niels Bohr theory, is said to be greater than the second orbit. Second orbit is greater than that of first orbit. So first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, how we have arranged, accordingly the energy also increases when the distance from the nucleus to orbit also increases. Actually, an electron here does not radiate energy as long as it revolves in a particular circular orbit. Suppose an electron is present in the first orbit, as long as it revolves in that orbit, according to this theory, this is not going to radiate energy. What is the meaning of it is nothing but if it starts moving from one orbit to another orbit, then only there is a possibility of radiating energy. That may be change in the energy. So that is called as the most important another postulate. That is nothing but Niels Bohr model of energy. See, when we have the E3 is there which is greater than E1, we can find E3 minus E2, or we can also find E2 minus E1 like this. So what are these things are nothing but these are the differences in the energies of the orbits. That means whenever electron jumps from this one orbit to another orbit, the electron may emit or absorb. That means if the electron jumps from the lower energy level to higher energy level, then it will release energy. Emission of energy takes place. when the electron jumps from higher energy to lower energy, only emission of electron energy takes place. From lower energy to higher energy, absorption of energy takes place. That means this is finally called as energy H nu, which is equals to Hc by lambda. So energy change is Hc by lambda. It's very clear. So this is from the Max Planck's quantum theory. We can write it. In this, H is the Planck's constant, c is the velocity, and lambda is the wavelength. And this entire discussion delta E is difference in the energies when the electron jumps from one orbit to another orbit. In other ways, we can say it is transition of electron from one orbit to another orbit will give these results. The another one, actually the angular momentum of this type of electron, which is under the motion in the orbits, is given. The angular momentum is given. mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. Actually, angular momentum is quantized, is the main postulate of Bohr's theory. So, in this, if it is present in the first orbit, the angular momentum value is h by 2 pi. If it is in the second orbit, 2h by 2 pi, like that we can write. This can be resolved from physical concepts. If you want, we can see that further in the next level classes, higher level classes. Next, moving on to another important postulate of Bohr's theory, that during this revolution of an orbit, the necessary centripetal force is provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between electron and nucleus. So that centripetal force is nothing but mv square by r. This is centripetal force when the electron is revolving in the orbit, and that force is said to be acted between the electron and nucleus, which is given equals to k into z into e square by r square. Here the k is nothing but equals to, which is given as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, which is also given as 8.9. I will write approximately 9 into 10 to the power of 9 coulomb Newton meter square per coulomb square. Newton meter square per coulomb square. These are the things. Later on, Bohr explained about the hydrogens like species, their related mathematical information. So this is the Bohr's atomic model. Once again, we'll repeat the Bohr's atomic model important postulates. Electron revolve around the nucleus in circular paths, which are called orbits, and each orbit is having particular amount of energy. Then the energy of an orbit increases when the distance from the orbit to the nucleus also increases. At the same time, another important postulate which is discussed in the Bohr's theory is an electron does not radiate energy as long as it revolves in a particular orbit, and it makes a transition from one orbit to another when it emits or absorbs energy. So that's what we discussed about the transition. Another important postulate about the angular momentum which is given associated with an orbit in integral multiples of h by 2 pi, that is mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. And another important postulate which is discussed, that is during the revolution of an electron and orbit, the necessary centripetal force is provided by electrostatic force of attraction between electron and nucleus, because the electron and nucleus both are oppositely charged. So these are the main important postulates of Bohr's atomic model. I hope you understand this Bohr's atomic model in this class. Okay. So we will discuss further developments in Bohr's atomic model in the next class. Until, have a nice day.